This is the 02 by 8BitDo. It's the smallest controller, to the best of my knowledge, that you can currently get for the Nintendo Switch, but in fact it will actually also work on Windows, Android and macOS, so it's quite a versatile little piece of kit. And little is the operative word. This is an absolutely diminutive controller. It's something that you could easily fit in your pocket or even have on your keys and have a controller ready to go at a moment's notice. Now that novelty is all well and good, but is it actually a usable controller? That is what I'm going to be looking at in this video. Hi and welcome back to the shed. I'm JOEBLEEPS and this is the tiny 02 controller from 8BitDo. Now I have to say this has got to be about the smallest controller I own. It has been out for quite a while now, so whether this video is actually relevant or not, well, you make up your own mind. However, I had a few ideas about using this for a pad hack because you could dismantle it, take the PCB out, and it'd be so small you'd be able to create your own controller inside pretty much any other shell. But now that I've got it, I think I'll keep it as is for a while and see how I go. It's like the most portable controller you could get. It's slim, it's small, you could pop it in your pocket, you could have it on a keychain. Now I mainly got it for Nintendo Switch, but also it'll play on Android, it'll play on Windows, it'll play on Mac, so whenever you need a controller in a pinch, this one will do the job. It's cool, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not going to ramble on too much, let's just take a look. Okay, so this is the 8BitDo 02 controller for Nintendo Switch. It also works on Windows and macOS and Android, but the main reason I've got this one is for playing on the Switch. It is the smallest controller you can get for the Switch, I think, and just to give a bit of context in terms of size, even with it in its packaging, compared to my Switch, like, you know, this is going to be small, so let's just pop that out of the way and we'll open it up and take a look. So packaging's eye-catching enough, but it's all about the controller. So as we slide open, you can see we've got a vacuum form tray which contains the controller itself, and in the section underneath we've got a neat little kind of silicone lanyard for holding it, because the whole point of this is you could easily have this on your keys or in a pocket or whatever, so you can take it wherever you go. And considering it'll work on Windows, Mac, Android or Switch, you could use it to play on loads of different stuff, so you could take it wherever you go. It's got like a protective layer. Once I get my fingernail under it, we'll have that satisfying moment of peeling it off. Compared to the image, I thought it was going to be a little bit more like a matte finish with greyish buttons, but it's actually a very shiny yellow plastic with white buttons, which is fine. It's nice. It's just different to what I was anticipating, and I'm not very good at dealing with surprises. Right, so we'll move packaging out the way. We will probably, we've got a neat little world's shortest USB micro to USB cable. Now that is the downside of it. I was thinking, you know, this has been out for a couple of years now, I think, so it's kind of pointless me doing a video about it really. But yeah, the downside is it's got micro USB, but loads of other stuff going for it, so we will move on. Do you know what? This is actually pretty good when it comes to instructions. There's a little diagram telling you which button's which, how to turn it on, and then there's instructions. Here's how to work it with Switch, here's with Windows, here's Android, here's Mac, here's keyboard mode. That's pretty good. Like, it's actually the useful information that you need. So for Switch, press Y and start to turn on the controller. Blue LED blinks 4 times per cycle. Press the select button for 3 seconds to enter its pairing mode. LED starts to rapidly blink. Go to your Switch homepage, click on controllers, and then click on the change grip and order. Blue LED becomes solid when connection is successful. Controller will auto reconnect to your Switch with the press of start once it's been paired. So that sounds straightforward enough. Let's just take a quick look at the thing itself. So now I've got over the initial shock of the bright yellow plastic and the white buttons. It's a really cute little thing, isn't it? It's got a nice matte finish on the back. It's got the white shoulder buttons. So you are losing some function. Like if we compare it to a Joy-Con. So if I just disconnect a Joy-Con. Because like size-wise, you know the Joy-Con feels small, but if we compare the two, this is like half the size of it and not even as thick. But we compare to a Joy-Con, obviously we haven't got a joystick, we have got a D-pad, but we have got the A, B, X, Y, and we have got the L and R buttons on the shoulders. So for a lot of games, this is going to be good. And I think for what I had in mind for it was for playing like vertical shooters. I could turn my screen on the Switch that way round and have the controller there, which should be pretty cool. It'd also be fun, I guess, maybe like on a Switch Lite, you could do 2-player games and have a player 2 on this. There's lots of possibilities for it. Something I noticed on the back that I quite like is here. I don't know if you can see or if I've messed up my focus. There we go. It's often easy to forget how to pair these things, particularly if you're pairing them with different things. So on the back, it's got like for the Switch, it's Y and power. For the D input, it's B and power, and X input, X and power, and then macOS is A and power. So it tells you what you need to use. So although you've got it in the instructions, you're not always going to have those to hand. So having that on the back of the controller is kind of cool, really. I'm quite impressed with that. So let's have a go at pairing it with our Switch. Go Switch homepage and click on controllers. Change grip order. Okay, now what we need to do on here is press start to turn on the controller. There we go, we've got a little blue, I don't know if you can see it, a little blue LED on the front. It's a nice contrast with the others. Now I literally didn't do any pairing, I literally just switched it on, and I think it's just connected. Press A when you're ready. Yeah, I mean I can move around, so I didn't actually have to do anything fancy, it just worked. It just picked it up and worked like it was an official controller, so that's pretty good. Apparently it's got tilt controls built into it too, so it should be pretty fun. Now I'm no good. Here we are making excuses before I even play. I am no good at Mario Kart, and I did pick this up recently and haven't played it much. Don't at me, like I know it's an awesome game. I played it quite a bit on my Wii U. I'm like literally looking through my camera's viewfinder at the moment trying to play. But considering how small it is, it's not as uncomfortable as I would have anticipated. Yeah, I am. I'm liking this. Yeah, now I mean, the thing is, you know, we played on Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance. We played Mario Kart for years with D-pads, so that's maybe why it doesn't feel so strange to be playing it like this. I definitely like this. I'm pleasantly surprised. Right, let's try something different. I've got the Tarte mode on Wolf Flame, which I assume is like Wolf Flame, not like Wolf Lame, I don't know. Anyway, we are on Wolf Lame, and I've just put the Tarte mode on. Honestly, I spent years thinking it was Tate, and then I saw a video saying, oh no, it's Tarte. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to relearn that. Anyway, we'll go to new game. I'm going easy because I suck, and I'm again looking through my camera's viewfinder. But this is kind of one of the things that was the appeal to me, is that I can play vertical scrolling games with this controller quite easily, especially when I can actually see what's going on my screen. Stop making excuses, Joe, just play. Yeah, so this is good. So there's a lot of opportunities for this. In terms of the portability, it's great. In terms of a quick player 2 controller without having to splash out like, what is it, like 60, 70 quid for a set of Joy-Cons? I know they're like crazy expensive. So having something like this is quite good, especially if you've got kids that are a bit rough with controllers. Something like this is good to have as a bit of a backup, and also it feels fairly like robust. Although it's small, it's dead solid. So yeah, last little thing I want to look at is this is my SN30 Pro. That's like, out of the other 8BitDo controllers I've got, this is probably my favorite one. I really love this one, and this will work for everything because you've got 2 trigger buttons and you've got 2 analog sticks as well. But I mean, compared to that, look at the size of it. I mean, it's absolutely tiny, and considering how small, you've got a real challenge on your hands in terms of the ergonomics, in terms of the design. Now the D-pad is a reasonable size. The A, B buttons, like obviously they are smaller, but they're comfortable enough to hold, and because they're smaller, the gap between them is a little less clumsy than it could be otherwise, so that's pretty good. The shoulder buttons feel fine. They're nice and clicky. The buttons themselves are not clicky. They've got like a silicon membrane underneath them. Same with the D-pad, I assume, and the same. Select and start, they're clicky, so they'll probably have like a little switch underneath them. But yeah, that's, I mean, you know, there's not a whole lot to say about it. It is small, it is comfortable. I really like the matte finish on the back. I actually wish it had the matte finish on top, but I can see why they've gone for the contrast between the two. It doesn't feel quite as premium as I thought it was going to, but I mean, this cost me like about £15, so I really shouldn't grumble. You know, when you compare it to the price of other controllers that you can get, this is not only the smallest controller you can get for the Switch, but probably also the cheapest. Even when I looked at some alternative Joy-Cons made by other manufacturers, you were looking like £40 for a pair. So this is a great little thing, and let's have a little look at it with the lanyard here to try and get it to go in. There we go. So that just pulls through here, and then we feed the other bit. Kind of somewhat jarringly, it's a different shade of yellow. So I'm probably not gonna keep that in use with it, but you know, it's nice to get some extras with these things. Yeah, so my latest controller to my ever-expanding collection. It's been out for ages, so maybe a pointless video, but I don't know. I think possibly if it's doable, it would make an awesome little mod to put a USB-C port there. But full disclosure, I do have the 01, and when I tried to do a USB-C on that, not much luck. So I might just leave it as is with the standard there. But for a low-cost novelty controller that's actually usable and a nice little solution to playing vertical games as well as horizontal, it's pretty cool. So that's it, another controller to add to my ever-expanding collection, and it's got to be about the cutest one I own, hasn't it? Having a new controller for a Switch at such a discounted price is great. It's definitely one of those impulse buys, and it definitely feels like a novelty, and I am always a sucker for a novelty. Having actually played with it now, it's actually a lot better than I anticipated, so I'm going to give it a fair bit more testing and see how I get on, but I'm actually feeling a lot more optimistic about this. And if it does end up that I find it uncomfortable over long periods of time, or I end up cramping up or anything like that, then I can always pop it open, use that PCB and hack it into some other shell or other, I don't know. I've got a few ideas of what I could do, but if you've got any suggestions, let me know, stick them in the comments. I am keen to hear, and I'll try something out if it sounds like something I could do. Anyway, if you want to get one of these yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. It'll be an Amazon affiliate link, and I'll also put it in my Amazon storefront. Shout out, as always, to the mighty ZedLabz. If you want to get into modding, they sell pretty much everything that you could need. I've got an affiliate link in the description, and if you use that and you buy something, I will get a little bit back to support this channel. You'll be helping us out at no extra cost to you, and if you use the discount code JOEBLEEPS, you'll get a bit of money off your order as well. So that's it for now. This is JOEBLEEPS signing off from the shed. If you want to keep watching me, there'll be some more content popping up here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.